the Harris campaign rolling out some new ads targeting Donald Trump. Let's roll the first one.
Never before has there been such a danger to America. A creature with orange leathery skin looms in the shadow, coming to destroy democracy.
You're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said no, 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 other than day one.
Raising prices for families.
100, 200, 2,000% tariff.
Spreading racist lies.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
Admiring dictators.
Able to deal with Putin and Kim Jong-un and all of the people that the very fine people you have to deal with.
Don't believe us? Ask his own staff. Trump asked me to put him over my oath. Anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be president. God help us. A total fascist. This creature vies for total unchecked power. Vote Harris Walls to stop him.
All right, folks, that's one of those ads. Let's see the second one.
For too long, a cloud has hovered over this country. One of division and fear. Fear of each other. Fear of our differences. He tried to turn us against each other, to normalize violence and hate. But we know who we are. We are Americans. We love this country, and while we may not all share politics or geography, we know the time has come for common sense and common ground. For a leader who holds true to our ideals that all are created equal, and the American dream belongs to each of us. That having a home, making a family, living one's golden years in health and security must not be a privilege for some, but a right for all. And while the fabric of this nation may be tattered, we can mend it together. One family, one community, one vote at a time. It's a new day rising, one of unity and hope, of a shared belief in what's possible when we remember who we are, the greatest nation on earth, America.
All right, here's a pretty good ad the folks at the Midas Touch put together.
We're effectively run in this country by a bunch of childless cat ladies.
We are not going back. Don't go back.
The folks at Vote Vets have really been emphasizing Donald Trump, how scary he would be for the military. And so here's what they just released.
Put on Pavarotti singing Ave Maria. Nice and loud. Turn it up louder. We want a little action here. Turn it up louder. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. You also had people that were very fine people on both sides. During my 4 years, nothing happened, and there was great pressure on me having to do with guns. We did nothing. We didn't yield. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. I got rid of Roe v. Wade. We have a woke military. My call was perfect. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body. Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all. I just want to find 11,780
votes, which is one more than we have.
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. And we're going to the Capitol. You have to get your people to fight. And we fight. We fight like hell. What the hell do you have to lose?
Trump may not remember, but we can never forget.
All right, folks, here is the Don Winslow. He's a progressive book author. He is a book author, big supporter of Vice President Kamala Harris, hates Donald Trump, and he self-financed this ad.
I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America. Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. God bless you. God bless you.
I love you so much, Papa. We fight, we win.
And I pledge to be a president for all Americans. Good evening, America! And when we fight, we win!
All right, folks. If we have the Project Lincoln Project ad, which shows Donald's absolute distaste and distrust of women.
And the first word she heard was the word
The C word. Every woman has heard it. From the angry ex. From the asshole boss. It's not a joke to us. But it is to Trump and Elon.
The pro-Trump super PAC launched by Elon Musk posted and then deleted.
Kamala Harris is a C word. You heard that right. A big old C word.
They even end it with "see you next Tuesday." Well, for once, they're right.
Let's go to our panel. Of course, Derek, Matt, and Michael. Listen, people talk about, hey, ads don't matter. The point of a lot of these are really to focus on going viral. And we're going to pull up one more. It's not an actual ad, though. A lot of young women, Matt, on TikTok are recirculating the Access Hollywood tape from 2016, where Donald Trump talked about in a shameful way the treatment of women. Now, if you've got women who are 20 years old now, that comes out. They were 12 years old in 2016. And so this thing all of a sudden is flying on social media, flying around on TikTok, and these young women are hearing what Donald Trump had to say. This is the kind of thing that I do believe is having a tremendous impact of driving young women to the polls. And we're seeing it in the early voting data.
Yeah, see also the E. Jean Carroll allegations were from what, the 90s or the late 80s? So obviously, or I think it was the 90s. Let me not speak incorrectly. But that, buttresses that is a pattern of conduct, right? That's the kind of thing that somebody's been doing for years. And you get caught on a tape, surreptitiously thinking you're not being recorded, saying something as abhorrent as he did. So I think you're right. I think those women from 8 years ago who are 20-year-olds now, or were even 10-year-olds then, or 18-year-olds now voting in their first election, will not forget those things. What I wanted to say about the ads, though, I think sometimes they are a little bit superfluous, especially at this stage. However, I think a couple of them are particularly important, and I thought it was very clever, the one about the creature from the Orange Lagoon, because I know the Atlantic reported yesterday that in Pennsylvania in particular, the early voting numbers show, I think, a 5% lead for Vice President Harris, and that was a 5% lead for Mr. Trump, I believe, a week ago. So there's very clearly a groundswell, and that, to be particular, that 5% lead is in voters 65 or older. And that's important because that's a demographic that I think customarily has gone to the Republicans voting in early voting, but it's going the other way for Vice President Harris right now. I think that's a very good sign. And I think maybe the ads are one of the things that plays into that. But moreover, one of the other things I want to mention is that I think the most effective of any of these ads are the ads where they just put back-to-back very caustic things that Trump has said, because what you very often see and what you're seeing from his team right now with the Liz Cheney comments is they try to one-off everything. But the thing about it is Mr. Trump continues to say hateful things and has for 40 years at this point. And when you string them all together, it is very hard to make any kind of cognizable defense against that. I mean, if you are voting for Trump, you are doing so in spite of a overwhelming body of evidence of hateful rhetoric and continued hateful rhetoric. So I think those ads are particularly effective. And if there are anybody out there who's actually still on the fence, that's what I think would push them over the balance to not vote for Mr. Trump and to vote for Vice President Harris.
I brought up the Access Hollywood tape, and we're going to try to find one of these TikTok videos. And Carol, what I saw, it was two young women who were sitting next to each other. They were listening to the tape. And so if y'all could find that video and we could play it, please do so. Also, Michael, a video that was circulating, Donald Trump when he testified before Congress, where he was trying to stop the expansion of Native American casinos. And he was like, well, these people, they don't look Native American. And again, showing how racist he has always been.
Absolutely. White supremacist, racist to the core. I heard this morning on MSNBC them talking about Gen Z finding out about the Access Hollywood tape and how they've been circulating on social media. And I didn't even realize that they didn't know about the Access Hollywood tape. You know, a lot of times, certain things we just take for granted, even though because it's been shown ad nauseum, right? We just think everybody knows about it. But they're finding out about that, and they're coming away realizing, putting all this into perspective. And at the same time, he bragged about taking away a woman's right to choose what she does with her body and overturning Roe versus Wade. But the commercial, and I know you probably talked about it here on the show earlier this week, Roland, but the commercial, I think, is really pissing off MAGA. And Jesse Waters talked about it on Fox News. Is the commercial where you have it's saying that women, you don't have to tell your husband who you voted for. And when you're in the voting booth, you know, that's a private matter. So he said that a woman who doesn't vote the way her husband votes, that's like cheating on her husband. OK, this is how sick these people are. These people are back in the 1950s and really trying to take us back to the 1850s. So, oh, yeah, these people have to be defeated. But you listen to them. And it's like, where did these people come from? You know, what type of upbringing did they have to think of women like that, dehumanize women like that? So this is another reason why elections have consequences.
What Derek, I'll tell you, is very interesting when we talk about that. Guys, let me know, control when y'all have that ad. I think we ran it the other day. And man, these folks on the right wing were pissed off. And there's this idiot, this black dude. He's on named Delano something. He's stupid. Delano Squires, and so he took exception to me criticizing Republicans whining about that. And these dudes are so-called Christians, and they really believe women should stay in their place. And they really, because I was criticizing this one pastor who said that women should be following the lead and voting like their husbands. But they are upset. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was foaming at the mouth on Megyn Kelly's show. And you would have thought Megyn Kelly would have checked him on that. But, of course, she's been kissing Donald Trump's ass so much, you think she's a member of the family now. But it goes to show you, how effective these ads are. And what's interesting is that women have been, I've been seeing these all across social media, they've been leaving Post-it notes in women's restrooms all around the country in stalls saying, your vote is private. You don't have to vote with your husband. I mean, look, that's low key guerrilla tactics. But the bottom line is, in a margin election, you take whatever you can get.
You know, Roland, you're exactly right. These ads are very effective. They're so effective that you have individuals like LeBron James that makes an endorsement and roll in some of these ads. The other benefit, you have these young ladies on TikTok. Again, they roll in these ads, Roland, and they have this one in particular that has gone viral the last 24 to 48 hours. It says, my vote will cancel out my dad's vote or my brother's vote or my uncle's vote. And this thing has gone viral. And so the benefit of these ads is clearly to get underneath Trump's campaign team and those who following Trump. But more importantly, these ads are demonstrating how quick and nimble the Kamala Harris campaign team is to get this out on social media, so that way it can penetrate TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, and all these various platforms with her message, and to really paint the picture how very different these two presidential candidates are.
Absolutely. And do we have, guys, do we have that ad, the women voting in private ad? Do we have that?
And one other thing I would add, Roland, as a retired naval officer, you've seen other organizations outside of the campaign team who are also bringing their voice when it comes to these ads. How they're saying how Trump is not only unfit and unqualified to ever stand behind the seal, but to be commander-in-chief, especially when he made the comment that he's going to use the military to round up citizens. And he crossed the line when he said that. And then military vets came out with their ad.
All right, let's roll that ad, y'all.
Still voting for him?
Hell yeah.
What about your wife?
She doesn't like him, but she's voting for him.
Same with mine.
So control room, I sent y'all another one, if y'all could pull that. So that one was a Lincoln Project ad. So if y'all could pull this next one, Julia Roberts actually voiced an ad. And just so y'all know, I'm sitting here, you know, I typed in YouTube, you type in women voting against husband. So you see this piece in the Washington Examiner, conservative paper. Julia Roberts under fire for inviting women to vote differently than their husbands. Then you see Charlie Kirk and Jesse Waters at Fox News upset. This Sky News Australia, owned by Rupert Murdoch, a tacky Harris campaign ad presents a negative approach. Greg Gutfeld is upset. White nationalist Matt Walsh, who's absolutely a sexist. This Democrat ad is the most I love this here. This Democrat ad is the most vile anti-family campaign ever. These white men are so mad and upset that they are losing their minds because they actually believe it. Look, that was a story I saw 2 weeks ago where a woman said, you know, this is the first time I voted in my life because my husband would not let me vote. She said, but he dead now and I'm voting. So if y'all have the Julia Roberts ad, go ahead and roll it. All right, y'all don't have it yet. Let me know when y'all have it. But again, Matt, this is what these ads do work, because what it's doing is you're not focused necessarily on trying to get on television, but if you're able to, again, drive this on social and it gets picked up and it goes viral and it's on Instagram and it's being shared and liked, whatever, it changes the game.
Yeah, I think it does. And I think, I said superfluous earlier. That's not the right word. I think what I'm trying to say is at this stage, I would think people would have their mind made up. But for those who don't, I do think that they're powerful, especially like Derek spoke to. Anything I've seen that is, a commercial where it's vets that are denouncing Mr. Trump, I think are particularly effective, especially when you have somebody coming in, who's going to be a fascist if military people are saying he's not the right guy. Now, let me first say, I'm not giving legal advice, but please don't go to the polls and talk to anybody else casting a vote. Don't get yourself arrested. I get the sentiment, and I like that from the Lincoln Project ad, but, obviously you don't want to be talking to anybody at the polls. But I do think that's effective. And I think it's crazy that in 2024, we're still having conversations about women as property, because that's ultimately what this comes down to. There's a large contingent of men who think that their wife is essentially their property, or at least that they can control, her decisions. And obviously women are autonomous. And not only that, women vote in higher proportions than men do. So clearly, they are making informed decisions. And it's crazy that you'd have somebody like that woman saying, this is the first time I'm going to vote because my husband wouldn't let me. That's absurd, but unfortunately some people's reality. So I'm glad it's being called out. And I'm glad that women are mobilizing, as they always do, in this election, because that's going to be what tips the balance. In fact, I have a local colleague who's running for local DA, and he is convinced that Vice President Harris is going to win gangbusters, because particularly the percentage of women who have come out to vote in early voting in our local county. He's just, screaming it from the rooftops, and he's very excited about those numbers. So if that tracks nationally, we should see a landslide. And I don't know that that will happen in a margin race, but he's a pretty smart guy and he knows elections very well. So that's his prediction, and it's interesting to hear that at this juncture.
Here's the Julia Roberts voiced ad.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey. Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
Oh, I love that it's driving them crazy.
Trump ain't shit.
Did you know that Trump wanted the military to actually shoot Black Lives Matter protesters? I mean,
Trump is not shit. He let people die during COVID and then told us to drink bleach.
He tried to kill the stimulus bill and couldn't, so he delayed the money just so he could put his name on the check.
Trump ain't shit.
He used the death penalty to execute black men like Brandon Bernard.
He f***ed Obama's economy, lost thousands of black jobs. He started inflation and gave his billionaire buddies a tax cut.
America, Trump ain't shit. Don't vote for that man. He's nothing but
Vote Kamala Harris for president.